I turned and started jogging quickly across the grass to my house. "What are you getting?" Sherry called, following me. "The camera," I shouted back. She ran faster, caught up with me. "Greg, the camera? Why do you need the camera?" I narrowed my eyes at her. My expression turned serious. I lowered my voice to a whisper. "For revenge." You can't scare me, not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy calling all creep. Boo, dudes! Hey, welcome to another installment of Calling All Creeps. It's a podcast that is about Goosebumps. I'm your host, a toilet. And I'm here with the toilet's lid. Hello, thanks for keeping the flushes inside of me.
If only that were possible. You sure do spew.
I'm a spewer. I punch it out.
I hate when people discuss that. They're like, this is the memory. It's like an A-bomb of the memories of every shit ever taken in this toilet. If you have an old house, it's just like, back in the 70s, somebody made a quiche and they diarrheaed it, and now it's in your lungs.
If these walls could talk, they would say,
if these
diarrhea.
Lungs could shit. Thank you, toilet seat.
They would spray. I remember, I told my mom this recently. In the 90s, she was watching Oprah one day.
Nice.
And I happened to catch some of it. And this was like a revelation at the time. Now you might go like, oh, yeah, of course. But at the time, Oprah had like a doctor or like a biologist on or some shit. And that person was like, you should close the lid when you flush because there's a spray, there's a plume.
Plume, that's the word they always use. It's always a plume.
Yeah. And if you don't see it, obviously, my cat is drinking my water. Hey. No.
Hey.
And
learn to share.
Learn to share. Come on.
No, I'm talking to you, Matt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I guess it wouldn't make sense for me to direct it at him. But she was like, yeah, it makes a plume, and it gets onto there's fecal matter, and it gets onto your toothbrush. Yeah. And the whole crowd, physically recoiled. And that stuck with me. And it makes sense. Close the lid. Keep all that shit inside, literally. Yeah.
If I'm going to have shit on my toothbrush, it's going to be on my own accord.
Exactly. Because I'm going to clean my fissure.
Yes. How's your butt, by the way? How's your fissure?
Thanks for asking. It's okay. I feel like I can still kind of sense it back there. It gets a little hot sometimes.
Oh, the Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
There's a whole movie about that.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, sometimes I look down there in the water and I see just a slight reflection of Haley Joel Osment's face.
Man.
Yep.
I'm watching The Boys season 2. So we went
how's
back to
The Boys?
Oh, it's good. One of the few I like the show more than the comic.
Okay.
And it's fun. And Haley Joel Osment is a character in the first one. He plays a washed-up child star. It's very good.
Nice.
It's good.
Nice. We watched all of Doom Patrol.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. It was a fun time. And it's a joy to see Brendan Fraser. I think he's a treat.
He sure is.
To see and hear. It's really his voice, but great show.
My favorite work of Brendan Fraser is The Mummy ride at Universal Studios. You go through the whole thing, and I remember a friend of mine, we were on it, and we're screaming. We're like, save us, Brendan Fraser. And at the end, like, it stops, and it's just him like, whoa, hey, it's me, Brendan Fraser.
Whoa.
And they, like, filmed him, and he's just on a computer, like a TV screen.
Does he look good, or does he look like out of shape?
It was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. I don't even know if that ride's still there. But this was like decades ago, and he was like, hey, mummies, I stopped with. Thanks for riding.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it stuck with me, and that's just a beautiful, incredible performance that he didn't have to do. I'm sure he didn't sign on for the ride, but like he really pulled together the full experience for me.
Hell yeah.
Did I really think that I was in a mummy's tomb and the ceiling's really on fire in that ride? FYI, spooky. But I didn't feel like I was in danger because I knew that good old BF was hanging out there to keep me safe.
BF was on your side.
Mm-hmm.
Beef.
Yeah. Scarabs
beef.
in my skin? Not today.
No thanks. You know, people say he looks like a big pile of shit now, and he looks like a big like whoopee cushion inside of like an old man's dead skin.
Well, joke's on them because whoopee cushions make me happy. And
Me
BF,
too.
good old Biffster, you make me happy.
I like him. I think he's a sweetheart. I think he fell on hard times because he got like some injuries from all the stunts he was doing and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he had like a bad divorce and
Yeah.
stuff, and he owed like all this money. And
It
like,
sucked because he did stunts, and I heard he broke one of his monkey bones.
we could just leave it there. I think.
Yeah.
Well done, blast
But
from the past.
he's a good man. He's a good Encino man.
He seems good. Yeah.
He could be the George of my jungle.
Oh man.
Because he always Dudley does right by me.
Oh man. That's his whole filmography.
Let's do Goosebumps.
Okay, let's talk about it.
We're back. Say cheese and die again.
It's a sequel.
With a great title. Because the first title's good, and he's just like, no bullshit again. It's happening again.
It's great.
Perfect.
I think it works. And I will say, not to get ahead of ourselves, but they say it in the book, and I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all we need. It's book 44. Cruising right along, and it came out in June of 1996. And I know we've done this before on the show, but happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Dave.
So, of course, we're going to cut right to the current events. We're going to take a little snippet. My sweet baby boy, Matt, was a spry, horny 9 years old at that age, right?
I'll tell you what, I was ready to burst.
He was so good, so 9 years old.
Correct.
And I turned 8 shortly after.
Correct.
I turned 8. And of course, as we remember from our birthdays, you need to know about the biggest song, which was The Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I love it. I sniffed it out, Dave. Pre-ep. What's better than that?
Yeah, they're talking about an ass, I guess. Because this is the
bum, bum, bum,
yeah,
bum.
they're saying bum bum bum, which is great. It's a good song.
It makes me feel like I'm at a middle school dance. Or something.
It also makes me feel like they never plan the song. Like someone just put a beat, and everybody, like one guy is just like, "What you doing?" And you later, let's go watch some TV, and we go and play a video game. And then his friend comes, and he says like, "I wanna go to McDonald's, and I will have a burger." Like, and the beat just stays the same, and sometimes it skips. I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of friends just like. You know how like a musical, they'll have a song play and they'll explain what they're doing? This was like if a musical was reality and it was just very low-key.
Yeah.
Like you're just hanging out, watching TV, and there's the beat. So,
I love it.
This one goes out to you, Bone Thugs, and all the harmony you bring.
It's a classic.
Movies, tons of movies. Number 1 movie was Eraser.
Oh, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger. Number 2 movie was The Rock.
Oh,
Sean
nice.
Connery.
Sean Connery and a little Nick Cage. VX Gas.
And the 3rd top movie was The Nutty Professor.
You mean the precursor to the Clumps?
Yeah, dude, this is pre-Clumps.
Pre-Clumps, my God. What would we do without that iconic scene of them sitting around a table farting?
I would just have to keep living it. And thinking, I just thought I was weird for sitting in a room that looks like me.
Yeah, so, I mean, same. And speaking of The Rock, sometimes after I eat too much broccoli, Dave, I do a little VX Gas. You know what I
mean? Man, that joke killed it. I love you.
And my wife is like, am I stuck in Alcatraz or what?
Tony Hawk 3 Alcatraz, playable level. And then the fourth movie, which this is going to be part of that Criterion collection of films that I never say, like, is it good? Because I don't remember it. Cable Guy.
Oh, my God.
Starring Jim Carrey.
It's a weird one.
I just remember when he does the vibrato aggressively during karaoke.
Sure.
Doesn't he do, like, what is it? He's just like, don't you want somebody to love?
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, the only scene I remember is like them fighting on a satellite.
The satellite dish. The end.
Yeah.
Who was the guy in that? like, there's the cable guy, Jim Carrey, but who was the person he was bothering? In my head, it's like Matthew Broderick. It can't be right.
Yeah. No, I don't think it is. I don't remember, though.
Guess.
God, who's that guy from Get Out and who's in Billy Madison? I forget his name.
Well, I was
the
right.
guy who's like,
it was Matthew Broderick.
Was it really?
Yeah, who knew?
Whoa.
Dude, this cast: Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick, Ben Stiller, Leslie Mann, Jack Black, Janine Garofalo, George Segal, Diane Baker, Andy Dick, Owen Wilson, David Cross. Yo, this is like Bob
Stacked.
Odenkirk.
Really stacked.
Dude, this is like a legit cast. This is probably something we should revisit.
Do our cable guy commentary episode?
I think, yeah, once people keep asking, what are you going to do when you're done with bumps? Maybe we're just going to do Carrie Cast.
Carrie Cast.
Carrie Cast.
The new Joe Biden on SNL. That'll please everyone. Sorry to
Like I said, I
name.
watched YouTube. I watched like children's YouTube videos to bring up my spirit for this podcast. Again, I want to apologize. I had a bad fever from a flu shot for the last episode, and that's my excuse for my low energy.
I think you were great.
Thank you.
And you looked great. I'm going to get a flu shot on Tuesday.
Well,
So
I never get sick from them, and that one kicked me in the fucking dick.
I'm going to see what's up. Yeah, I knew that had happened to you, and I feel like it happened to somebody else I know. So I was like, I'll do this on a Tuesday. I'll do it on a work day. Not a
Hells
weekend
yeah,
where I could be
that's the
interrupted.
spirit.
Yeah.
So let's do some current events on June 1st, 1996.
Yeah.
Happy birthday
Thank you.
to Tom Holland, too.
Oh, he's born, right?
He was born that day.
Unfortunate that I'm much more successful and good looking.
And you
in
have
better
a
shape.
real American accent. This Joker
Correct.
fakes one.
Oh my God. Disgrace.
He speaks, as they say, the Queen's English.
Yeah, correct.
I speak the Queen's American. Like the cheese. Also on June 1st, you probably remember this because it probably ruined your birthday. Your good friend Woody Harrelson was arrested in Lee County, Kentucky, after he symbolically planted 4 hemp seeds to challenge the state law, which did not distinguish between industrial hemp and marijuana.
That's dumbest shit I ever heard.
He was probably just like, we should have the right to wear itchy drug rug sweatshirts. It's not a drug to wear. Yeah.
That's one more thing you would buy at East Meets West. Dave.
You would, and also the same material, but like a mat that you put in like your trunk.
Yeah, right.
It's like a rainbow, and the colors suck. Yeah.
What a dumb thing. I 100% thought you were going to say DUI.
No, he went to jail because he was just like, this isn't weed, you can make twine, and like put him in jail. Why would you die on that hill, Woody Harrelson?
Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I want to say that he got drunk and punched a woman, but like I think that's just the characters he always plays.
I guess that's the association I made. I was like, oh, definitely he was drunk.
Yeah, I don't know if he's bad, but I don't even want to look into it because like
Same.
Bad Santa was all right, I guess, maybe.
Wasn't that what's his face? Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah, I guess
Or was
it
Woody
was.
Harrelson also in that?
Who knows? He was in Zombieland, though, and that movie, I'm going to still say it, that movie sucked other than the Bill Murray part. If there was no Bill Murray part in that, it was not a good movie. Watch Adventureland instead.
Adventureland is good. I'm so averse these days even to Bill Murray. I'm like, let's fucking get over it. He was also like, isn't he a domestic abuser? And we kind of like forgive that.
Bill Murray?
Yeah, I think
I
he's
had
had
no
some
idea.
incidents.
I don't know. He's just basically more like a folklore than real at this point.
Yeah, but I think he's like been co-opted by like bro culture. It's like the chive.com will like make bumper stickers of him and stuff, and I'm like, fuck off.
I don't think he has anything to do with that, though.
No,
his story is
I
actually
don't-
pretty incredible. He doesn't have an agent or anything. He literally has a phone line. He has a hotline that he rarely checks, and he'll just listen to the messages, and if he likes your pitch or whatever, he'll just show up.
Yeah.
That's literally how he lives. He's crazy. And I love him, but unless he's problematic, which we'll find out, but until proven otherwise, I'm cool.
That's why I'm so disappointed and upset often about Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I love him so much, and he's like such a champion for gay rights, and like he's like whatever pro-mask, whatever. I mean, that's like a basic, but still, he's like, he seems really cool. Plus, childhood hero. But then it's like, he has spotty record.
Yeah. Who would
some
think?
Problematic things.
A professional wrestler with a spotty.
I mean,
even
really.
somebody as beautiful, clean, and inspirational as the Big Show got arrested for showing his wiener to a like housemaid or something at like a shitty motel.
Well, it's not funny.
But to be fair with him, his wiener's probably so big that it's impossible to cover it.
I was gonna say
he probably got out of the shower and they only left him 5 towels, which will literally cover maybe one bicep.
Exactly, correct. Yep. He gets a pass.
His show was canceled, and it really upset me and my plans. That's all I need to say.
Oh, my God. Yeah, same.
On June 18th, Ted Kaczynski was suspected of being the Unabomber, was indicted for 10 criminal counts.
Okay.
So the Unabomber, remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, taken down.
And then on June 23rd, Nintendo 64 goes on sale in Japan.
Praise fucking be. Love
and
it.
Funny enough,
best console.
On Friday, I picked up a copy of Mario 3D All-Stars.
That's right, with Mario 64 in there.
Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy.
Beautiful. They didn't remaster it totally, right?
No.
They just cleaned it up a little.
They just cleaned them up. It looks good. It's the same game. I was just like kicking like King Bob-omb's butt.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to get to those Dire Docks and just have a good time.
What a joy.
It's
Love
great.
that.
It brings me
I wish
back.
they would keep doing that. You know,
They
bring
are.
those N64 things back.
I think this is just they're opening the door. We're going to see more.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I love Nintendo so much. By the way, today I realized that they gave out official Swiss Army Nintendo knives to the employees that were there for a certain amount of time.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
Pizza Pia, and if anybody can track one of those down, anyone who really had an uncle who worked at Nintendo,
yeah,
I will pay money for that.
For sure, yeah.
I think I only have one normal color of Game Boy Pocket left to find, and then I have all those. But then I need to go into like the special edition ones. Like there was a Ralph Lauren one that you can only buy at like JCPenney.
Wow.
And
weird.
It's yellow, and it has the Ralph Lauren, like the polo symbol on the bottom.
A Game Boy?
Right, yeah, Game Boy Pocket. Because that's when they made it in different colors, because they thought everybody would. Anytime they make like a Game Boy for fashion-conscious teens, I buy it. I was like, hell yeah.
Conscious.
Like Game Boy Micro, oh. But that could be a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
So let's get into this book. Funny thing that this book was censored for the merchandise. And I kind of remember this because I had a shirt for this, and it's all the 90s merch. Instead of saying "say cheese and die" again, they actually censored the word "die." So it was all like "say cheese and ellipsis again." So it trailed off and then would say again. So the shirts for "say cheese and die" only said "say cheese and ... and then it would have the skeletons.
Thanks, fucking liberal America. It's political correctness run amok.
I think it's a problem. It's all these skeletons. They're like, I'm a living skeleton. Don't say I'm dead.
How dare they? I was confused by this cover. I think it's cool as hell.
Yeah. I was going to talk about the cover. There's a little Easter egg on it.
Ooh, tell.
If you notice, the skeleton child on the right is wearing a mock-up "Don't Sue Us" version of the Grateful Dead logo.
Correct. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. But also,
looks cool.
This has nothing to do with the story.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And the first book, if you remember and listen back to our episode, had nothing to do with the story, to the point where Scholastic actually made RLS write a dream in so that the cover made sense.
Right.
At this,
Which
I think...
I appreciated.
Also, I re-listened to that episode. It was our 4th episode.
Mm-hmm.
We were so earnest. And like even in the beginning, you're like, "Boo dudes, thank you for taking the RL time to be with us. And we were so like wide-eyed and happy. And the things that we were like mad about was like very simple. We were like, he started 3 sentences with and like all the stuff, to the point where I realized we have gotten to the point with this where we're 44 fucking books in, on top of the extras that we read, and we're just exhausted and pushing through.
I'm tired, Dave.
In many ways, we are where RLS was when he was writing these, and it shows.
Yeah. Last episode, I made a comment when we were rehashing the plot. We both kind of were talking about how story was kind of interesting because it was different than the other books, and one set piece and like this weird game, whatever. But also, we made a comment like it's not that interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
And our friend of the podcast, Goth Dad, Jock, Brian, sent me a little text, and he said, what's interesting about that comment you made? That's your whole podcast. That's the conceit of the whole podcast. So it's amazing that we have listeners.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I think is all the talk, Dave.
Oh shit! Should I text you what second this was?
No, it's okay.
I can't believe you just that out of your mouth.
It's probably that sort of lore.
Yeah, I think so. But also with like listening to that, we have to realize like this was a very earnest and thought-provoking idea that we had originally. But also RLS, like the reason Say Cheese and Die existed is because he thought of the fact that you hear regurgitated so many times that there's a tribe and blah 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 that believes that if you take a picture of them, it's actually stealing their soul.
Right.
So he was like, what if I actually turn that into a reality? And he wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
This is very perfunctory. Would you say this is a extremely phoned in obligatory book?
Yeah, this is basically like in many ways, it's exactly where we were as a nation. He was the precursor to it. Yeah, because he saw the Nutty Professor, and they were just like, fart, fat guy. And he was just like, what if I make this book just my ode to insulting overweight people?
Oh, my God. I'm so glad you opened the door. That's all it is.
This whole book is one big fat joke.
It is. And it's... in the beginning, at first, it's like a little funny because like one of the pictures comes out of Greg as a fat guy, and I'm like, that's insane, and it's kind of funny, and then it just gets to the point where like that just becomes the whole book.
It's the whole book. The whole book is one big fat joke. Hold on, let me get through the facts real quick, and we can blow through this plot because there's nothing there.
That's true.
So it's the longest time between any sequels, and this also ends the franchise.
The Say Cheese franchise.
Listening to the other one, I had to do some research. The first book, if you didn't just go back and listen to our first one, which usually we're like, who gives a fuck? But maybe check it out, because I enjoyed the listen. Believe it or not,
it's gonna be better than this episode. Because right crazy. Now we're gonna say basically this book is not good.
No, it really isn't.
And we're going to tell you the plot to a bad book. So like that, by default, that episode is better.
We should find a way to let's throw some fun facts in between. Anytime we get to like a part where we're really bummed, just say something. We'll say something interesting. We'll throw something in there.
Okay.
We'll be
related
like, hey,
to Goosebumps or no?
No, it could be anything.
Oh, good. I have something queued up.
You'll know whatever, so it'll be interesting.
Good.
So at the end of the first book, Joey and Mickey, who are the bullies, who wear like metal T-shirts and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They steal the camera from the basement.
Correct.
And they take pictures of themselves. They do not exist anymore in this world, so I guess we're supposed to guess they died because they're just gone. And the camera
found its way back.
Yeah.
Scary.
They both have twist endings in the same way of this one, but of course we're not going to learn. The first book, they claim it happened in summer during his report, but it actually happened in the fall. Mm-hmm. In the 2018 ebook, the two bullies, they basically just like normal school. Once two bullies die, they just airlift in two new ones. But these were extremely fat. And in 2018, the ebook version of this, they actually edited out the nicknames of two bullies, Sumo 1 and Sumo 2.
Oh, did they?
As
Good.
being offensive, which I'm surprised they would even reprint this book in 2018.
I am too. I mean, it's just because it's a say cheese book, right? Like it's just running on that title because it's trash.
Also, Ryan Gosling was replaced in this episode by Patrick Thomas because the idea of making a young Ryan Gosling wear a weird fat suit was just too much to bear. No, they just grabbed another kid because they couldn't tell. I watched the episode today. Possibly the worst acting ever in any of these. Also, for some reason, they even forgot, like, Spidey is the one who found the camera, the weird guy. They call him Spider in the episode.
What the hell?
They just fucked up. Like, they changed it. They didn't care.
They don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit. Speaking of not giving a shit, let's do this plot. It all takes place in English class.
Yep, correct. It's we got Mr. Sour.
And Greg's giving oral.
Greg is giving an oral praise. And what's... I think I wrote this down somewhere. I'm not even going to refer to my notes for this, but it's like he's 12, right? So he's in like 7th, 8th grade. Can you imagine that your assignment is to just get up in front of the class and just like talk about some like story you have from memory? What the fuck?
It's a true story.
Are you fucking kidding me? You had to like write stuff down in 8th grade.
in the TV show, it's like, tell a story that changed your life. Tell about a moment that changed your life. And you had to write it down and then read it.
Yeah. This was nothing.
No, it was just like, tell a story. And
it was like, come up here and talk. And Greg can't do that.
No.
He comes up and he's like, well, one time I found a camera and it was haunted, of course. Yeah. And I took a picture of a bird and the bird died. And then I took a picture of Sherry, and Sherry exploded, and then I fingered a rock till it burst. And I think I'm crossing my books up. And also, why would you say that, right? Like in 8th grade in middle school, the social environment is crushing. It's like so debilitating, and you just want to be like perceived well at all times. And he goes up there and he like talks about a haunted camera. The whole thing is baffling. Like it's predicated upon something that can never exist.
I believe this part of the book is extremely truthful and accurate.
Okay.
You ready to hear some fun facts? Let's break it away.
Oh, baby.
Let's go back to little Dave when he was in junior year of high school and he was in his English class. Mm-hmm. For Halloween, our project was to write nonfiction about a scary thing that had happened to you. Nonfiction.
That's it?
Yeah. Basically, this assignment.
That sucks.
Mine ended with me and all of my friends being brutally murdered. And I got a C.
See, that's insane. I just don't... I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Teachers have a lot to go through.
Also, we had to read it in front of a camera. In front of a candle. Like, she, like, turned all the lights off in a candle, and I, like, slowly burned. I burned, like, the back of my page reading it over it.
In class?
You had to write it and then read your story in class.
With a candle? She told you to, like play with fire?
No, you sat in front of the class and read it to them. It was like a Halloween thing. It was like a fun Halloween thing. And she put candles up front. And, of course,
no thanks.
I had to be an idiot. And, yeah, so I got a C because literally my one friend, I said that he had his stomach ripped open. And then I was strangled to death with his intestines.
I mean, that's good.
And I didn't even have to go to a counselor. But I did get a C.
Well, it's Halloween.
It's Halloween. And I made it to AP Language and Composition the next year.
Wow.
And those were credits I didn't need to use. I got for college.
Nice.
So who's the real sucker?
When I taught, on Halloween, I used to show the movie Coraline.
Nice. Neil Gaiman.
Correct, Neil Gaiman. Well, first I would, it was lovely for me because I was like, here's a day I don't have to fucking do anything.
Nice.
And the kids are going to like it. And basically it's because that story is a children's story, but Neil Gaiman is a good writer. And he uses, that is a children's story that compared to Goosebumps is like it's getting its master's degree.
But it's also written for different audiences at the same time.
It is, but he did write it for his daughter, who was like 11 at the time.
That's true. Yeah.
So it just uses such exquisite sort of sensory detail and all this stuff. So
But-
I would...
Just to defend our boy RLS, if you ask Neil Gaiman to write 62 Coralines, number 44 would suck.
That's a very fair point.
Yeah, he'd be like, Coraline, the button broke on someone's fucking pants, but it was someone's eye, so they could only see their own dick.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it's a great little novella, and you just print out some pages. You talk about the sensory detail. You say you're, quote, comparing it to the film. You show the film. You pass out some candy. Everyone's having a great time.
That sounds like a good day.
It's a breeze. So I get it. I get the phone-in assignments.
In contrast to that, Mr. Sour, who they call Mr. Sourball,
Yeah.
or is his name Mr. Sour?
I was thinking
Saur.
Sour, yeah.
And they call him Sourball.
Yeah.
The whole book, and it's like, sour old Mr. Sour is a fucking asshole. And we learned that he really fucking sucks. This guy's
He actually is an
huge,
asshole.
huge piece of shit.
Yeah. The worst person I could think of in this series.
Yeah. So book number 1 is basically Greg's report to Mr. Sour.
Yeah.
It's the whole story recounted, and he's just like, oh, that's a very well written, you get an F.
Yeah, correct.
Because it's a true story and you fucking lied. And he's like, no, I swear, if I get an F, I cannot go to my cousin's, like, I don't know, cabin house in Yosemite.
Yeah, I can't go to my cousin's bat mitzvah in Oregon.
But he says, you can get an A if you can bring the haunted camera to me and prove that it is evil.
Right. Yeah.
And
So
this
that's the MacGuffin.
This is a great line. And it just reminded me of Hot Rod, which is a movie that we love so dearly. Where he
Please,
says,
God, don't let me embarrass myself in front of Denise.
I'm going to prove the camera's evil, Sourball. I'm going to prove you're wrong and unfair, I thought bitterly. And I thought about when he's talking about his dad, he's like, you're going to get better, and I'm going to kick your ass.
Oh, I hate you so much. I wish I could smash your face in.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
It's
I'm
a
going to
good
edit
movie.
myself out probably saying
No,
that
keep
because
it. It's
nobody
awesome.
likes a quote.
I love that quote. So Greg decided he's going to go and get the camera. All he has to do is go home and have dinner. And, oh, yeah, family, fun. His brother Terry, who is king of jobs, used to work at the Cream Hut. We made a lot of jokes about the ice cream hut called the Cream Hut. Yeah, but we can't make any jokes or else we'll have to go to editing jail. By the way, it's still No Nut 2020, where we will edit any reference to male sexual excrement or sexcrement if we
want to breathe.
If we want to.
Yeah, 3 months to go. And then we're going to fucking...
I'm gonna blow my fuck. I won't say anything. But yeah, so Terry got a new job. He runs a dark room at a photo place.
Correct.
That won't have anything to do with the story about a camera, I bet.
No, for sure not. It's just totally unrelated. And so he has dinner. Greg has dinner with his fam, and he's just waiting for his fam to go to bed. When they do, or actually they go out, don't they? They go somewhere. And he waits for the opportunity, goes to the old haunted house in which he originally found the camera. When he gets there, guess what, Dave?
What? I mean, I read it, but what?
The house is demolished. Believe it or not, it's gone. Somebody bought the land. They said, this is trash. Got rid of it. And now he has to stare at a big old hole, which is what he does anyway. And he has to sort through and see if he could find the camera. Of course he doesn't. But there's a little boy who finds him and says, hey, what are you doing here? And he says, nothing. I'm just looking for a camera. Totally normal. It's haunted. I took pictures of me and my friends doing special time with it.
Opening our buttholes. I think we talked about this last. No, I don't think we did. But I remember what we would do is tell my little brother, we would take like my mom's camera or somebody's camera, and my little brother was just, you do whatever he wants. We'd be like, hey, pull your pants down, and he would just like stand there in like his tighty whities, like flexing, and we would take a photo so they'd find it on their roll. And I bet so many people were like, fuck, should I go to the police? Like, we thought that was like a fun prank when we were like little kids.
Right.
Like, I had to be like younger than 10. Like, it was.
Right.
I was probably like 7. We were like, this is funny. Do this.
Yeah. Right. But whoever's developing that is like, yeah. So this kid apparently is the son of the guy who bought the land and knocked down the house. And he says, hey, whatever you're looking for might be in this dumpster that we use because we're renovating, or we've taken this place down. So it could be in there. I thought I saw an old camera in there. And Greg sorts through and he finds a dead raccoon.
He sure does.
And inside the dead raccoon's butthole is the camera. And so now, throughout the whole book, the camera is encased in a raccoon. And what Greg does is the lens is facing out of the raccoon's butthole. And to activate it, you actually have to push the raccoon's nose, and then it farts, and the camera goes off. No, but he does find a dead raccoon in there, and the camera as well. And John is like, hey, that camera might be valuable. I feel like I want it. And, Greg's like, well, you didn't want it a second ago. Like, I really need this to get revenge on my teacher. So could you please let me have it? And John says, no, thank you for asking. And they wrestle for it, which is... Every photo that's taken in this book is enacted by wrestling. It's always the flash, the button is pushed because two people are fighting for the camera. And that happens here. Takes a picture of John. It's John in pain with a nail through his foot. And Greg's like, well, that probably won't happen. And then... John runs away to... The producer Chib has sent a photo that Dave is showing to me right now of my cat sitting behind me, pushing his legs and front paws into my back, which I have felt this whole time, but have not checked. Let me take a look. It's very cute.
Is it time for a fun fact that has nothing to do with this book?
Yes, please.
Fun fact time. Did you know the blob of toothpaste that sits on your toothbrush has a name?
No.
It's called a nurdle.
I love that.
I do too. So where were we?
Well, John gets a nail through his foot. He runs into the debris of the broken down house and he gets a nail through his foot. He has to go to the hospital. So Greg gets the camera.
Yeah. John just gets shit on, but so does everybody in this book.
Yeah.
Because, like, he goes home, he takes a picture, like, accidentally. Sherry's like, the fuck's your problem? Tries to grab the camera and gets a picture taken of her, but only a negative comes out, which is not how these cameras work.
Yeah, I was confused by that.
And then she's like, fuck you, and takes a picture of him, because he's like, oh, it's broken, you're probably fine, lying. So she takes a photo of him, and he comes out as 400 pounds.
Right, and now that's the book. He just gets fatter. Mr. Sour dunks on him a bunch. Yeah,
at one point, he says he looks like a really gross pile of pudding in the photo.
Yes, that was the first instance, of fat shaming. And in that, and maybe this reflects poorly on me and I shouldn't say this, but I wrote that in my good because that was page 53 and I was like, that's funny. And then after page 53, and this is like 118 pages, something like that. After that point, it's too much. Like it's every lot. Page. And then I drew an arrow and I was like, put this in the bad because especially Mr. Sour, or however you say it, he like relentlessly dunks on Greg. It's like very to the point where when Greg does say like, I need the camera for revenge, I'm like, yeah, for sure. Take a picture of this fucking guy.
But like, he doesn't just gain a little weight. It says that he's around 400 pounds. This is a 12-year-old kid. And he's not like a fat that's like, oh, look at this chubby guy. It's life-changing. And the only thing I kind of liked was the difference between his mom and dad. This is the only detail where the mom instantly, when he starts gaining, he says it's around 300 pounds. She's like, this has to be an allergic reaction. Something's going on. And dad is just like, do you eat a lot of candy bars at school? It's like the dad doesn't know shit. Classic RL parent experience.
Which I liked that the mom's response to that was like, well, even if he did, it wouldn't happen in 24 hours. And I was like, thank God.
But Mr. Sauer, like, they're like, go to school. No one will make fun of you. And you're like, this kid's going to get torn apart. But like, I underestimated how big he was. And thinking about it, it happened in a day. So the kids all are just kind of like in awe and quiet whispering and respectful because they were like, he must be very, very sick.
Yes, they are. And that makes it worse that Mr. Sauer is dunking on him because the kids don't laugh about or at any of these jokes. And it starts toward the end of page 87. It says, Greg, I don't think you'll fit into a chair, he said. Why don't you just stand by the window? I didn't say anything. I waddled over to the side of the room. The room fell silent. Kids didn't laugh. Greg, forget the window. If you stand there, I'm afraid you'll block out all the sunlight. Then he smiled. Again, no one laughed. I think the other kids felt sorry for me. Greg, I want you to see the nurse. I want you to go see the nurse. I want her to discuss the 4 food groups with you. I think you've been eating too much of all 4.
Fucked.
It just keeps going. It's like relentless. And then he goes out. He actually does go to the nurse. Or like, that's the pretext. But he leaves the room and he goes and he finds Sherry is actually also at the nurse. And she, because the negative was taken, she's regressing. So she's going backwards. She weighed like 90 pounds and then she's getting thinner. It's much like the Stephen King book Thinner, which
that's what I was thinking of.
Scared me as a child. So yeah, they're both like opposite ends of the spectrum. And both are scary and sort of like not fun. I don't know what this is, why RL decided to do this, but here we are. And eventually, I think this is the next thing where Greg gets an idea.
Just to interrupt, I was looking up your mama jokes because I feel like R.L. Stine just laid his best yo mama jokes on Greg. And instead, I found for it's showing me 1997, April 5th, my brother's birthday jokes, and they're all your mama's so dumb. So, Matt, I would never say anything, Matt, about your mother, but I'll say, instead of your mother, what should we put there? Oh, yeah, Matt, this book is so dumb that it thinks Johnny Cash is a pay toilet. This book is so dumb that it bought a solar-powered flashlight.
Wow.
I only have a solar-powered flashlight.
I was just going to say this.
I know you would. Well, this book's so dumb it watches the Three Stooges and takes notes.
Oh, my God. How embarrassing.
This book's so dumb it took it 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes.
Oh, my God.
Greg is so fat that he sits on the couch and watches the couch. Sits on the TV and watches his butthole.
Wow.
Gotcha. This is not funny. Let's keep moving. Oh, hell yeah. Your wife has been sending me photos of you sitting and podcasting, and I said the next photo better be nudes. And she sent me this photo of your cat. It's him sunning himself, but as you can see where his wiener would be, it is a massive eggplant emoji.
It is.
And it has little water droplets shooting out for something that we would censor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's just like super shitty and everybody like counts on him. So they decide to like take pictures of themselves again, but instead it just gives like Ebola to Greg.
Yeah.
His skin starts falling off like he's the Fly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he gets like a weird rash because they take a photo of Greg, and he looks like he has alligator skin or something like that. It really does not matter because they're basically doing this on the way to see Greg's brother because Greg has an idea. He says, hey, if my brother can make a positive out of the negative and a negative out of the positive, then maybe we can reverse the shit. And his brother does it, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Then Greg, fueled with hatred and revenge, decides he's just like, Sherry, get my gun. And she's like, what? He's like, get my gun.
This is basically John Wick.
Yeah.
Before John Wick.
Yeah. It's like John Wick. You have more chins than a Chinese phone book. And he's
nice.
like, and then he karate fights you.
Yep.
That's a fucked up joke. That's like one of the that's like a Weird Al fat joke. And it's like, wow. Different times.
The chins joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
It's not great. I mean, that is a popular last name.
Sure. You have more Smiths than Morrissey.
I was just going to say, hey, the Matrix movie, you have more Smiths than American phone book.
Yeah, right. There you go. You completed it.
Hey, the world, you have more Mohammeds than anything else because that's the most popular name for a male. Got him.
Hey, USA, you have more COVID cases than anywhere else on Earth.
Roasted. Actually, should I say roasted? Because California is fucked.
Got him.
Got him. What gender are you? Gender reveal. You're on fire. Turns out I'm having on fire. This is a New Jersey joke I love to make, but it's about, the town Metuchen? No, Metuchen.
It's Metuchen, yeah.
Metuchen these nuts.
That's what producer Chib always says.
Yeah, I say Metuchen, and then people are like, you mean Metuchen? And I say Metuchen these nuts.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's not Metuchen, it's Metuchen.
We're correct.
But like when they're like, well, what am I Metuchen? And I'm like, you are Metuchen on my apparatus, which happens to be below my penis, and it is, in fact, my nuts.
And if you pull too hard, it's going to...
No, it's... Oh, fuck, you said it.
I've said it a bunch.
It's going to fall off.
It will fall off.
It's going to fall off.
Well, I'll scoop it up and I'll nibble it down.
So he goes to take a picture of Mr. Soar, but instead he takes a picture of, like, the class.
Correct. Mr. Sour's like, let's all get in here.
Yeah, and they take a school photo, and then it's hanging in a mausoleum because all the kids burst into flames.
Yeah.
No, you don't know what happens, and you never know what happens. It's up to your imagination.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's it.
That's the book. Wow. Great. Okay.
Fine.
Totally.
I guess. All right. We're at 48 minutes. That's crazy for our plot. Do you want to do what's good?
Yeah, I'll talk about what's good. I have a single thing written down. Page 107, which, you guessed it, happens to be the end of chapter 24.
Oh, hells yeah, man.
And chapter 24 ends in a cool way, I thought. This is when they have seen Terry, Terry is Greg's brother, who works at the photo shop. And Greg says, is it working? I asked her, do you feel any different? Not yet, she replied softly. Neither do I moaned. We stared at the new prints and waited. We stood on that corner for at least half an hour, staring and waiting to feel different, waiting for our bodies to change. But nothing happened. My pubes grew, but nothing else happened. We didn't change at all. I farted.
I like that part too.
We're doomed, I murmured sadly. Doomed. A chunk of skin peeled off my forehead and dropped to the sidewalk. And that's how the chapter ends. I thought it was great.
It's like Strong the Fly meets C-3PO energy.
Right? Yeah.
I like that.
And like after I have so much fatigue from RL ending chapters with like, you'll never guess what happened next. Or like, I wish I took her advice. But this was refreshing to me.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. And as I said, originally I had this fat camera notion at the onset in the middle of the book when it happened. I was like, this is insane. It's kind of funny. And then I was like, oh no, it's not funny at all. So I actually moved it to my bad. So that's really all I have for good. What do you have?
Yeah, my good, I have the swirling wind felt heavy and wet. I glanced at the sky, hoping it wasn't getting ready to rain. A pale half moon floated over the quivering trees.
There you go.
It's very
nice.
goosebumpsy. That's
Yeah.
fine. He wrote that the parents goggled at him the day that, like, because he was like 400 pounds and then just normal again. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I put goggled in my bad writing because we said that is not the right verb and not a verb that means that they were like, you know, their eyes bulged and they were like, whoa, but actually it is. And it's a good vocab word. So this time I'm giving it to you because we fucked up last time. So this is my redemption arc.
Good job, RL.
I like when Mom kind of to the side when he seems to be getting a little bit bigger in the beginning, just being like, maybe I'll put a little, she's like, maybe I'll put skim milk in a cereal today.
Yeah. When we thought fat mattered, remember that?
Yeah. And that kind of makes me feel like when I thought Chainsaw, like my cat, I was like, oh, he's getting kind of big. Maybe I should, like, you know, maybe not free feed him. And like, and I'm like, as a parent, I would constantly be, you know, oh, am I doing it right? So that was kind of cool. And again, I like the dynamic between Mom and Dad and how they all reacted and how, like, when he was getting really big, fucking like Dad and Mr. Sour had strong boomer energy where they were like, exercise more. When I was a kid, I was on my bike. You're fat. And I'm like, no, he literally gained 300 pounds in a day. And you are acting like it's his fault.
Yeah.
Like, and Mom is like, no, this is serious. You need to see a doctor. So,
yeah.
And I kind of like that they were seen as villains and wrong, while like the kids were actually the nice ones. And that would have kind of been a good look for this book if it's not the writing, like the narrator of the book is like making fat jokes. Like R.L. Stine is like blowing up this kid.
Oh yeah, for
like
sure.
It's not even like these people were saying this bad stuff. It's just kind of like, yeah, fuck you. Like it was a lot. So
yeah,
I like that stuff about the mom and dad and kind of like really characterizes them as who's right, wrong, and the kids, but everything else was meh.
Yeah.
And then I like when they're talking about Shari when she's like withered away. And it says she folded her hands in front of her. Her fingers were so skinny, they looked like bird's claws, with her black hair hanging down from her tiny, round head, her straight pole of a body. She looked more like a mop than a person.
Yeah.
Very gaunt. Like
yes.
That's a lot. So that's all I had for that.
Nice. Bad, I have more things. On page 9, this is just more like kids don't speak this way, which we've talked about before. It says, if I don't get better grades, I can't visit my cousins this summer, I explained. You see, my cousins live near Yosemite in California. It's just nobody, no child or adult starts a sentence with you see. On page 42, Greg sees two guys with John, and he says, I guessed one of them was the architect and another one was John's father. I see the logic for John's father. Nobody that I went back and I tried to find, nobody mentioned an architect prior to that. So this would presuppose that like Greg just has an understanding of like new homes being built at 12, which is insane.
To be fair, I used to watch This Old House with my dad every Sunday. So,
yes, one of them. There we go. He has a ruler in his pocket. He's an architect.
I used to watch back in the Bob Vila days, man.
Bob Vila.
No, he was on. Yeah, I'm not joking. Every Sunday.
No, yeah.
Every single Sunday. This Old House.
I just made a note that like every time this camera goes off, it's because two people are fighting for it. That's just how this book goes.
Imagine if it was a gun. That was what I was thinking this whole time. And I was just like, this book would be much crazier if it was just two kids who found a gun in like a basement of a abandoned house.
Brings up memories of that horrendous story that you told in the first Say Cheese episode of a drug deal gone wrong.
Oh, yeah. Akiva David.
R.I.P.
The original Bird. We didn't even go... All of them are recurring characters. Sherry, Bird, Michael. But they don't... Bird and Michael get the shaft on those. Bird, one of my favorite characters, who gets a hard concussion playing America's Pastime baseball.
That's right.
Speaking of baseball, do you know that R.L. Stine has a baseball card in the Allen N. Ginter 2020 series of historic baseball cards?
I learned it from you.
And I wasted $20 trying to get fucking R.L. Stine.
But you have finally achieved him, though.
There will be a video. Yeah, I achieved him because I figured the easiest way, if you guys really want this but not a lot of baseball cards, I have this cheat code for how to get R.L. Stine from these, because they're like, it's like trying to pull a Charizard from a Pokemon pack.
Yeah.
You don't know which one R.L. Stine's in. So you need to look at the box, check the price, go on eBay, and just order the card. that was $20 of opening. I got a card. I don't want to ruin it. It'll be up on our Instagram and YouTube or whatever. And it pissed me off. Okay. More bad? You got more bad?
Just a little bit. Again, kids saying things they wouldn't say. On page 57, it says, a group of kids were talking in front of the classroom, blocking the door. Make way, I cried, pushing through them. I wanted to see Mr. Sauer before the bell rang. Just nobody would say that, especially you're drawing attention to yourself to be ridiculed. You just don't do that in middle school.
I imagine that when you're like, make way, and then the kids with the trumpets went, dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. Prince Ali, fabulous.
Yeah.
Page 87, Macy's Day Parade balloon joke. This sort of self-dunk is just a huge amount of fat shaming. This is when I just had enough, so I just had to make note of it. How about you, Dave?
So his name is Mr. Sour,
Yes.
Mr. Sour. They call him Sourball, but like he is described as having a sour looking face, and just like any citrus or sour flavor is just attributed to this man's look, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, your last name is Ryan, and imagine if I just like said like, because your last name is that, I was just like, yeah, and he had a face, he looked disappointed like Meg Ryan from this thing, and like he looked hot like Ryan Gosling and this. Like just, so they say like Mr. Sour raised both hands for quiet and gave everyone his lemon expression. And I waited until the classroom had emptied out. Then I turned to the lemon-faced teacher. Like his name is Sour, and they call him Sourball. It doesn't make him a fucking lime lemon. Like, and there's so many things about that. They're like his sour puckered butthole. Like it doesn't matter. And this I hate it. The two bullies, Sumo 1 and Sumo 2, who don't really matter other than they like give him a hard time once. They went up and they were like, hey. And he was like, they say hey a lot. I guess it's their favorite word.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Like,
I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
That's like someone, like, hey is fine.
Yeah, that's a greeting.
Like, hello. No one says hello. Like, people are like, hey. Like, I probably text, like, hey, more than anything. It's not my favorite fucking word. It's a greeting. It's what you start.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, Matt, in his writing, uses a lot of periods. It's probably his favorite punctuation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, stupid. And then most of the stuff you wrote. And then that book is fucking done. Let's watch this from our mouths.
Yeah, sure.
What's your number one scare?
I don't have one.
My scare is just like, I think gaining 300 pounds in one day is horrifying. And my skin falling off. The medical conditions of this with, there's no answer is scary.
Yeah, to not know how to. Yeah, that's very fair.
And especially in this world where if you wake up with a fever, it is scary.
Correct. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah. It's just, a medical unknown right now is a bigger idea than anything. And gaining 400 pounds, like that's not water weight. You are fucked. Like either you're a Willy Wonka blueberry or you're like
a true Veruca Salt.
Yeah. It's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you have a fever and you get a Lowe's, they'll scan you with a radar gun. And if you have a fever, they're going to put you down.
I had a fever last
right
episode. Last episode, I had that fever from my flu shot. It scared the shit out of me. It was gone by 3 p.m., but like
Several
literally,
people almost killed you.
It was like Predator. I saw all the red dots on me. They were ready to shoot me, and then
You
they
covered
checked my
yourself in
temperature.
mud.
I did. I had to. Well, I mean, I normally do. That's just my skin regimen. But
Yeah, Dave, mud, air quotes.
yeah, I get it. Poop.
We're shit boys. Everyone knows it.
We're the shittiest
Hey,
of boys.
Next podcast, shit boys.
Shit boys. By the way, well, we're not even done yet, so I don't want to reach out to you guys. We'll address you later. Best dressed.
Best dressed, I'm going to go with the small brown dog on page 47. What was I talking about? Who knows? Let's find out. It says, a car rumbled past, filled with kids on their way to school. A small brown dog stuck its head out the back window and barked at us. Apparently, I thought that was the best.
Mine is, it just says the shorts. And I was falling asleep every time I wrote this. But page 65, I remember now. Because he gets so large that he can't fit in any of his own clothes. So he goes from like the clothes that he got that never fit to like his dad's clothes.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite. It says, my jeans felt uncomfortable, a little tight. I ran to my room and pulled on my pair of really baggy shorts.
Oh,
Mom and
yes.
Dad always teased me about these shorts. They say they're roomy enough for a friend inside of them. But I like them. I think they're cool and they're really comfortable. I usually don't wear them when I ride my bike. They're so long and baggy, sometimes the cuffs get caught in my chain. Jinkos!
You know what we got there? A Jinkos.
And those are the shorts, like Jinko shorts, where it looks like you're wearing pants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're just so low.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a cool look.
It's a good look. And he was like, oh, I had to wear those shorts. I think they're cool. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
you fucking juggalo.
Yeah. Fago.
Yeah, I think they're cool. Just like I was listening to Nookie by... yeah. Fuck Greg. All right, what about your alternate title?
My alternate title, I think, is Fat Shamer's Manifesto.
I like that.
I think it's accurate.
Yeah. Mine was going to be More Reasons for Virtual Schooling.
Yeah. Keep your kids home. Save them
Yeah.
from
You
Mr.
never know
Sour.
where. I don't really have much.
What about a witch? Is there a witch? I guess it's the camera.
The camera's still the witch. Or it's probably his brother Terry, because I don't think photography friends reach out to us. I don't think there is a negative or anything internally inside of Polaroid film. I don't think you can take the photo and reverse it.
And make a negative. I was wondering that.
Because, like, yeah, you can just Command I on Photoshop, but, like, that's not this.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that. So,
My liquor
Yeah.
is Mr. Sour, by the way.
what's up?
My liquor is Mr. Sour.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because he's always puckering his lips and shit?
Correct. Yeah. I just think he licks a lot of assholes.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, though. Some people like
No,
licking.
I think it's fine. I think he licks, though, especially dirty assholes.
Oh, I get it. And I mean, I'd be in a bad mood, too.
Yeah, he's a shit eater.
I'm going to say my most luscious liquor is Greg, because we learned that every single time he goes to the doctor, he gets a lollipop, even though he's 12.
Wow, good point. Good point.
And what are you going to do when you get a lollipop?
You're gonna lick it. You're gonna suck it.
You're going to lick Matt.
Remember those? Did you in high school or maybe middle school?
Those like weird lollipops that people would sell for fundraisers.
Yes, they're like artisan lollipops.
Yeah, and the flavor is always just, it's like the flavors are the same as like a Yankee Candle.
Yes.
It's always just like it's like a nice pie that's been brushed by a blueberry when I sprayed Febreze on it.
A nice pie is
they're always like pastry based.
Yeah, it is. It's like a pie that makes your body float up in the smell like a cartoon.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if that company had like fresh linen as like a lollipop flavor.
Right.
Yeah, Morning Dew.
Yeah, lavender pillowcase.
Let me tell you, because I'm at work now and there's more people there, because it's a mess. My Morning Dew has been pushed back.
But Dave, how do you, when you're at work, do you feel energized?
I've been de-energizing. Also, if you work at my school, don't go to the art room because Matt, in a very way of our old job, the art room at this school, I legit go there, turn off the alarm because we're not using it because it's virtual school, just to use that bathroom to have my own.
Wow. They have an individual
I have my own
bathroom
bathroom. Yeah.
Wow.
And much like what you're supposed to do in that area of the school, I make art.
You make fart.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, like, what is it? Applebee's has the Dukerita now. Have you seen it? It's like a Mountain Dew margarita.
Oh, my God.
Fartgarita.
Fartgarita. So I just want to reach out to all of our people. So we're heading towards a 2-year anniversary. And as we asked you in the previous episode, we would love to hear from you and put that into the episode. So far, we've had nothing from any of you guys. So, I mean, the episode, to be fair, it's only been out a week. We're recording this one a little early. We just churned 2 out. We just like blew this one through, 1 and done.
Here's what I'll say, Dave.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. If you're listening to this right now, open your notes app, I keep saying notes. Open your voice memo app. Record yourself saying a little howdy ho to the
Hold on 1 second. How about this? Everybody, make sure you're not listening to this on headphones.
Yes.
All right. Hey Siri, record a voice memo. All right,
Okay.
Now you guys just go. Now just start going. Now start going.
Yep. Record something about you and your relationship to Goosebumps, or about what you think of this podcast. Maybe you acknowledge that it's trash. That's great. Just record it, send it to callcreepspod@gmail.com. Dave, is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Callcreepspod@gmail.com. Or if you have any questions, message us on Instagram. We'll post something up. By the way, I'm very excited to be back at Say Cheese and Die so we can work on what should be a viral meme in the Goosebumps community.
Wonderful format.
Now that our platform is bigger and our fans have gone from tens of people to, it's still tens of people. Went from like 10 to like
From
maybe,
10 to
maybe
tens.
20. Yeah. Tens. Yeah. In the tens, as in 14 people. Yeah, but just send us something. It could be just say who you are, how long you've been listening, what's on your chest, something to RLS. By the way, I've been reaching out to RLS almost every single day. I reach out to his agents. I think he knows us by now, and they will not respond to any of my stuff, even the ones where we will pay money. I'm still going to try and get some sort of special guest. I said that about getting Ryan Gosling in episode 4 and failed miserably. And I mean, one thing I can say about this podcast and my work in it is it's consistent. So expect a big failure. But I think we have a pretty big guest for us lined up.
Correct.
For you guys, probably not. But for us, it's our white whale.
Monumental. Yep.
Yeah, it's huge. So
Great.
yeah, and we'll see what we can do. But please send us something. I'm so lonely. I need your words of encouragement.
Yeah.
Or not. Just be like, yo, fuck this podcast. Whoever gave us like a 2 and a 1 in our iTunes ratings.
With no message.
Yeah, no. If you're gonna fucking hate on us right. Dunk us. I want to get dunked on.
Dunk me.
But also, yeah, if you want to get killed on an episode of this podcast, please go to iTunes and review us. We are currently at a 5 review, even though we have some 2s and 3s. And we did get some more recent ones as of September 1st. So we have 1 more. Or 2 more to get back to. And don't think that we didn't think about you. Super Good Name and Rav12. So we will be getting to you guys as well. We just want a little bit more in our backlog. Keep in mind we have less than 20 books now.
Less than 20, baby. And then we'll be done with this series.
Yeah, fuck this, dude. I'm sick of reading these books.
Yeah, I'm tired. Very tired.
Dude, reading this one was a chore.
Yeah.
I want to play Mario 64.
Yeah. We have much better things to do.
Yeah. In the beginning of the game, he goes, Mamma Mia. Like, that's fun.
I want to be there for that.
Yeah, I want to get my butt hit on the fire and go, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Correct. 100%.
I was watching my girlfriend drown a bunch in Mario, and I remember she was trying to get that horrific eel star and drown before she got to the top of the level, and I remembered that animation haunting me as a child.
Yeah.
That was
Some
fun.
spooky shit.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what we should really work on? Mario's drowning animation.
Yeah.
And then you die and you hear Bowser and he's like, oh, oh, oh. Which is basically me just doing Tim Allen. And he's the Bowser of real life when you think about it.
Yeah. Binford sponsors this pod, by the way.
Damn. I hate him, but I would kill for a Binford shirt.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you could get it on like tpublic.com.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're just bullshitting right now.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah. A little bit hungry.
Same.
I have to pee.
That's cool.
What else? Oh, I'm going to watch Lovecraft Country. Are you watching that?
I watched episode 1. It was good. Episode 2, I mean, like when they're in the house and stuff, it was just kind of meh. It was whatever to me.
Okay. So you stopped there?
Yeah.
Got it.
Because Boys season 2 came out, went back into that.
Yeah.
Greatly enjoyed season 1.
Yeah.
Finished up the Sopranos.
Sopranos.
Or Soprungles, as I've called it in this household. Yeah, I mean, I gotta watch my yearly run through of Over the Garden Wall, which is my favorite fall show of all time.
Nice.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, you and Chib need to watch it. It's the best fall show of all time.
How do we get it?
I think it's on Hulu, all of it.
Okay.
It's I think it's like 6 episodes, but they're all like 15 minutes, or it's like 8 episodes. They're all 15 minutes long, and it makes one full movie, and it's beautiful, and you will cry, and it has the best music and visuals, and it's gorgeous. It's about 2 brothers that are lost in the unknown in the woods, and they're trying to find their way home, but the beast has other plans, and they go from like fall adventure to fall adventure, and it's beautiful.
Love that. Okay.
It won an Emmy.
Okay.
It's great. I got that Mondo vinyl of it, special edition. Love listening to it while I'm decorating for Halloween. It's great.
Nice.
That's another good thing. If you guys will maybe put something up. Halloween is coming, which is kind of this spooky time. None of this is important, and I imagine we'll all be edited out. But if it's not, I love your cute PJs that you're wearing, by the way.
Thank you, buddy.
I see it has your initials over the pocket.
Yes. Sorry, I just give my cat a little kiss.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I got it monogrammed because when you're ordering old-fashioned pajama suits and it asks, "Do you want this monogrammed?" you select, "Yes, I do."
Yeah, it's like it's like how people used to write on the back of the iPods and iPads.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Do you want this engraved?
Do you remember my engraved iPod? You ever see that?
I'm sure I did. I don't remember.
My iPod said, "I hate you and I hope you die," and Apple actually put it on there. So I have a photo. It said, "I hate you and I hope you die." And when everyone would say, like, "Why do you have that?" And much like people would say when they'd be like, "Hey, yeah, my," it would be like an anniversary date or like a name, and they'd be like, "Oh, my ex gave this to me." That's what I would say. I'd be like, "My ex gave this to me when we were dating." And then Brio, an Italian restaurant, poured an entire tray of waters on me, and it was killed.
Really?
Sure did. Yeah. This is a whole lot of stuff that'll get cut, but it's fine. Now we can cut back in. Now, Boo Dudes, thank you for sitting here while we bullshit. Goodbye.